Feel of your outside rein. Sometimes so many days minus 20 degrees that all I could do was walk on the 7 training horses that I had in training. So I spent a lot of time in the walk trying to figure out why horses come around, why they come around, when they come around, why they fight. And what I figured out is that most horses, especially that have a neck this shape, and believe me, I trained a lot of horses with a neck this shape, they fight the bit when you use too much pressure on it. And they stay above the bit when you don't use enough pressure on it. And they respond the best to very, very sensitive changes in the pressure. And that's why I make the analogy with crystal. You don't want to be strong with a horse's mouth. That is a metal bit lying across a jawbone that is covered only by a thin layer of skin, which is very similar to the front of the shin of a human being. So you don't want to be rubbing the metal across it. You just want to be carrying it lightly in the upper corners of the horse's mouth. Doesn't mean that you can't sometimes make your arms heavy. So, slowly and quietly elevate your inside bit so that you can come around. Now, the goal here is not that you spend a half an hour every day trying to figure out the absolute subtleties of the bit and the contact, but that you learn to get on a horse and by nature carry the bit this way. Touch him a little, turn on the circle. Touch him a little bit with your right spur. So, most horses in this day and age, unless they're complete ewe-necks, doesn't matter, will go on the bridle if you just carry the reins properly. If I sit on a horse and I carry the reins properly, 99% of the horses in the world just go flip, because they feel that my hand is not going to pull on them or be restrictive or pull the bit off center. That my horse a place to go to and be comfortable. So he submits, he trusts, and he agrees to work with me. Got it, you're getting it, yep. The thing about really good contact is that there is no slackness to it. The reins are taut, but they're lightly taut. It's like a guitar string. You can, of course, move and bend the guitar string, but if it's too loose, you can't make music on it. And if it's just the right tautness, you can make music. It's exactly the same as riding. You're doing a very good job there with rein contact. You become much more conscious of it. That's good contact has very little to do with holding the hand still. In fact, the whole arm is a little bit in motion because the horse's neck is in motion. So if you hold your hands and your arms perfectly still, you're riding against the horse. So, now if I were you, I would just lightly close the fingers more on the outside. And I've lifted my right hand just a hair. Oh, that was fast. Just paying attention now. You're paying attention now, though. Very good. Very good. Now you're getting where I want you to be. And you know what? You can't be taught every day of your life. So on the days when you're not being taught, get on and freaking do this for an hour. Because you will figure out how to put the horse on the bit. And you'll figure out how to do it with less and less pressure and more feeling. But this is something, I can describe it to you, but you have to learn it by feel, and therefore you have to start making stuff up in your head. Imagine what I make up in my head. You have to start making up stuff in your head and trying to figure out the feeling for this. Doing very well. Then, of course, you have to carry it over into trot and canter where it's much more difficult. But if you can't do it and walk, then you're already in trouble. That doesn't matter. Yeah, good. Good riding on your part. I've done exactly the same thing. Now I go back to walk and getting where you're headed because you're really starting to make progress. The beautiful part about submission is that the horse shows it not only in his neck, but he shows it in his eyes and in his expression when you do have true submission. And he's there now. He's like agreeing to work with you. He's like, okay, this lady's not so bad. I guess she does pay my board. Oh, very good. Go ahead and change rein again. What you start to figure out after you get your hands correct, and you have gotten your hands correct now, I should say your arms, because good hands come from good arms, not the other way around. As you can start being really neutral with the hand, and you can start adjusting the horse just a little bit with a soft feeling leg. Meaning if you want to increase left flexion, you make sure your reins are positioned properly, and then you touch them ever so slightly with the inner spur, and you say, look, this flexion I want in your neck, it originates in your rib cage. So you push this rib cage into your outside boot. In fact, you can try leg yielding a little bit toward me, just a hair, but lightly, softly, sensitively. So, now there are lots of good things. There are lots of things that Spanish horses are good for. One is bullfighting, and the other is teaching riders to be sensitive, because they are very, very sensitive horses. So you take your time with a horse like this, and you let him teach you.
Andalusian.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Yes. Remember always in the back of your head that the frame is a living and breathing thing. It always changes. It should always be changing. It should not be fixed. Therefore, you just want to make sure that the frame follows the rules, and that's that the horse is accepting the bit, is soft and elastic in the neck, and that you feel like you can either flex him a little bit left, or straighten him, or maybe slightly counterbend him if you want to, without the nose coming up. So take your time and quietly try straightening him with your outside leg. Bring his attention to your outside leg and say, hey, if I push your ribs toward my inside boot, find out what happens. There you go. Good. Good. Now go back to bending and left. Concentrate on that and push his rib cage towards your outside boot. Excellent. Very good work on your part. and change rein on the diagonal. You're really good with your hands and your arms now. All the tension has gone out of your hands and your arms. And you have to imagine, if the horse were driving you, if you were pulling your horse around the arena with a metal bit in your mouth, let's say a monkey is driving you, that makes more sense, because monkeys have hands. If the monkey was driving you, and the monkey had a lot of nervous tension in his hand, you would not just submit to the bit. If the monkey had a lot of relaxation in his hands and was very kind with his hands, then you would submit yourself to the bit, which is what your horse is doing now. And that's why it looks better now than it did 5 minutes ago. It's like, oh, all right. So, super. When you're ready, go to trot. Think about the monkey. Super, super, very good, very good. Ooh, doesn't matter. That you ignore. You don't do anything about that. You just ignore it and keep going. Oh, excellent. Now you're doing really well. Can you go and rise and trot like that? Because I really want you to concentrate just on your hands. Slow down a little bit, good. Very good. So you stay in rise and trot just for a few minutes. Bring your level of awareness down to your hands like you did in the wall. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, good boy, right. Very good boy. Make a 20-meter circle and you can say good girl because you're doing a really good job here. It doesn't matter. Don't get all excited. You have to stay serious and focused. Even if I give you a compliment. Good. So relax the right arm just a hair. Very good. Remember, we're trying to keep the bit very centered in this now. I hope you're riding with the bit with only one joint. Yes. Okay, so you try to keep that joint in the center of the horse's mouth. You just gently lift your right rein without doing it too fast. There you go. There you go. Just keep the rein a little bit up on the bit rein. By the way, this doesn't actually happen, but that's what it should feel like you're trying to slide the rein up on the bit rein. I actually knew a German who wrote a thesis on where to position the rein on the bit rein. Can you imagine? She wrote her thesis on it as a writer. And I actually had to prove to her that the rein does not truly slide around the bit rein, but it does feel like it does. Oh. Very good. Very good. That was back when I was 20. I've mellowed out since then. Excellent. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're doing a good job. What you need to do is close your fingers a little more on the left wrist. Yeah. How did I know? The bit was pulled through the right side. Yeah. That's how I know. Oh. Right. Relax your right arm just a hair. You're doing a very good job now. I would suggest trying to stay in rise and trot for a while with this horse, only because I would like to see you concentrate so much on your hands over the next few weeks that there's never a question in your head that you can make him round. Go ahead and change rein across the diagonal. Right now, the sitting throws you off a little bit. Doesn't mean we're not going to get to it. We probably will before the end of the day today. The third thing that Spanish horses are really good for is wine tours in Andalusia. They're also becoming very good for dressage. This is a really athletic horse, which I'm happy to see. Because the old Andalusian, isn't he? Or not? Yeah? The old Andalusian was a little bit heavier in the neck and a little bit shorter in the legs, and not quite as athletic as this type of horse. Excellent. Now, one of the things you have to think about when you sit on him is you've got to ask permission to ride his neck. Meaning you've got to soft with the arms and correct on your outside rein again. Good. And lift your left hand slightly and quietly. He's used to being a little bit bullied to the left. Or, I shouldn't say it like that. He feels bullied to the left. So, you have to make sure that you're really riding accurately when you go on the left rein. There you go. He's kind of learned to use his body really against the rider when he goes on the left rein. So, do your outside bit rein again just a little bit more. One of the really nice things about Spanish horses is you never really have to worry about impulsion because they have it by nature. Therefore, it's not like you have to go around building tons of impulsion to get them to give to the bit. They trot with impulsion when they come out of the egg, which I like about them. Good. Have you seen Kara Kirkland's evolution?
No.
I don't know. She has an amazing reach talent. Yeah, good. 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 Yeah. You don't have to say anything with your voice, but your arms. Your arms should relax a little bit there and say, good, good, good. Now put your leg on just a little bit more so that we keep him in a connection and he stays carrying himself. We didn't really ask him to stretch. Good. Excellent. It's nice that he offers it though. Very good submission to the bit. Good boy. He wouldn't softly offer that kind of stretching if you weren't there with your hand. Just keep fighting you all the time. Keep that idea of a monkey in your head. Imagine what it feels like to have a monkey drive you. It's my Planet of the Apes theory.
You've been talking to my husband.